Hey everybody, we're
Hey,
back.
we are back and we're in full effect. Okay.
uh,
So, we really wanted to give you guys an update on how everything's been going this past couple of weeks since we've posted our last
and
video together.
first off, we're so grateful that we posted uh, the garage sale information last week, and man, we've gotten a lot of love from that. We're already starting to get people to donate items or tell us or be committed to donating items, and so we really appreciate all the love so far. And I'm almost kind of getting a little concerned because of how much stuff's gonna be in that yard. But man, I will take everything. We will take everything, and we really hope that it'll be a blast and be very beneficial to our cause.
We're looking forward to it.
Yeah, and then we did had a double date.
Yeah, we went on a lunch date with a wonderful couple that adopted their beautiful daughter from Ethiopia. And so that gave us some insight as far as what we've decided to do in the type of adoption that we want to move forward with.
And there was a lot of love to our stomachs this week because not only did we do that, but Astrid had a chance to go out with a few of her friends this past week.
Yeah, loved for the belly. So I went out with some friends for dinner, and they gifted us this great scrapbook. I'm so into crafts, and I love scrapbooking, and I'll show up close picture. But it's a scrapbook about all the things they love about us, and it's just really supportive. And I've had a couple of days where I've had to read it and be encouraged, and it's just wonderful that people think about us in that way. And so that was really awesome to receive that, and it's being put to use.
Yeah, and as we also, one of the last things that we did was we looked at a few adoption agencies, and we actually went to one of them called Buckner in Dallas, and so had the chance to get orientation through that, and kind of get our feet wet and seeing what the process is all about for at least one company.
Yeah, so we've mentioned, or we visited and visited with a few, well, actually four adoption agencies. Just one actually had an info session, but unfortunately, well, we'll start off by saying, okay, the type of adoption that we've decided to go with and why.
Yeah, I think that'll explain basically the kind of route that we're going because some not it's not one size fit all for all these
Yeah.
agencies. They all specialize in their own thing. They have their own cause, and so it's very important that we know what we're getting ourselves into when we pick one.
So I will say that I was surprised by a few things with the agencies. First of all, they all do things differently, and I guess that makes sense. But going into this, I really, I was just kind of naive. I didn't know, I didn't know there was so much. There was got so deep. So we've decided to go with infant adoption, and a couple of reasons why we decided to go with infant adoption. We really want to experience, having a child and having an influence on a child from the beginning. And that's not to say that later on that we won't, do foster to adopt, or won't do Texas Children Waiting, and we won't get a child that is older. I think for this first experience for us, I think this is what where we're called to adopt.
Yeah, kind of just to add on what Asher said, I think that a lot of things, understanding what we wanted, what we desired was to be able to raise a child, and what we want to do is be able to experience as much of that joy as possible that we weren't able to do so far on our own. So, getting a child that is as young as possible or infant, I think will not only allow us to experience that, but we'll be able to have an even greater impact on that child's development.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, with that said, a few adoption agencies, well, a lot of the adoption agencies don't offer the program for infant adoption. So, for instance, we're talking about Buckner. Buckner is one of the largest agencies that's here in the DFW area, and their infant adoption program was suspended until 2017. And so we're here at this info session, and of course, they're talking about the different programs that they have, but particularly the infant adoption program is suspended, and their wait is 2 years. And there were just a lot of things and information that we received that were very disheartening and
I was going to say that word too, disheartening. Yeah, they were basically what they're telling us is that they take in like 20 applications a year, and then they gave us a statistic saying that they place like 7 children that are infants a year with 20 people, meaning that that's a lot of people. 13 applications that are still having to wait after the end of the year, and then you're going to get 20 more, and they're only averaging 7, and it didn't even look like the number was dropping. And some of the stuff they were giving us was that it was because people are more willing to keep their children,
which is good.
Which is good. And I'm glad to hear that. I also don't think that there's just 7 children in the entire state of Texas or in the region that happens to. And so this is something that we've been talking about earlier. It has to do with what you specialize in, because we've looked at other agencies that do a lot more than 7. So, and this is exactly why we're going through this process. So
yeah, we
can see who best fit our needs.
Yeah. So the next agency that we researched was Gladney. Gladney Adoption Services. It's based in Fort Worth. They don't even hold info sessions for infant adoption because their program is suspended until 2017. They just don't have enough children, is what they said, and they have a very rigorous process. So it's almost like, and this is something that's, I didn't really expect. It's almost like you're interviewing for a job. Like, you've got to do this info sheet, and based on the info sheet that you submit, if the criteria you put, the answers or the questions that you answer don't fit into the profiles of the birth mothers that they have in their database, they'll deny your info sheet, and you won't have even an opportunity to join the program. So I guess that was kind of eye-opening as far as how rigorous the process and the application is. I mean, this is like literally we better have our best foot forward, dot all our I's and cross all our T's, because we're interviewing for this.
And that's where I kind of disagree on that, because I feel like just us being natural would just be a blessing to the people that we're going to be interviewed by. They're going to see some very unique, loving things that we incorporate in our family, and I actually look forward to this process, really, because I mean, we have nothing to hide. It's going to be I think it'll only benefit us for the people that we work with.
Yeah, I think we'll do okay, but it's just kind of eye-opening to kind of understand the process a little bit more. And then we also researched Adoption Choices of Texas, and I don't know, I'll speak for myself. I feel really comfortable with this company. They're kind of, I don't know, the word that comes to mind is turnkey. Like, they specialize in infant adoption. Although they're based in Austin, I think they have an office down here, but I couldn't find it on their website. But for the majority from the time that I talked to the caseworker and just, her just being really transparent about the process, her explaining it to me, telling me that contact her anytime for any questions. They're really happy to receive, people who are interested. And so I just think the tone of the conversation that I had with them was really, that mattered.
Yeah.
It mattered that they got back to me once I submitted, I emailed them and let them know that I wanted more information. And so that was really good.
Yeah. So, but yeah, that's basically what we're doing. We're not done yet, so we'll keep looking at others, and we'll just keep on collecting items from you guys. We got lots of room, so keep it coming there, and we appreciate that. And one more thing, as I posted earlier today, I'm vigorously working on making my RetroPie product as awesome as possible, and And as I posted, we're going to make sure that all those proceeds go to the adoption process too. So,
Yeah. So, but I did forget one agency. It's called Cradle of Life, and they're located in Beaumont, Texas, which is a very small city outside of Houston. And they seemed, I'm really felt comfortable with them as well. So they do have an infant adoption program there. And so we're kind of deciding, for me, Cradle of Love, or wait,
Life.
Cradle of Life, and the Adoption Choices of Texas are the two contenders for right now. I also wanted to share, like, this whole waiting process is been, it's got its ups and downs. Like, every day is different. And it's like some days I feel like, man, I'm going to be able to wait through this? Like, you know, but I had a really good friend tell me that when they were going through their adoption process, that her and her husband prayed a prayer. And that was a prayer for God to provide them with a child that was meant for them to have, and to orchestrate everything in a way that would be beneficial for the child. And God knows our skill sets, He knows our temperaments, He knows what child is best for us, and the child that we can be beneficial to. And so just continuing to pray, and that takes time. He's got to orchestrate this whole thing. And so it was comforting for me to be able to have something that I can refer back to and pray for. I know this is going to be a long journey, and who knows, it may not be as long as I think it will be, but it was comforting to know that you know, that needs to be our heart. We need to condition our heart to receive our blessing in God's timing. So.
And I think not only with what we're going through, but with anything in life, if there's a waiting period, you got to have fun until that time comes up. So just find things to do, have fun with each other, have our own hobbies. I think that'll allow time to fly.
Yeah.
That's what I'm cool with that.
Well, that's our update. And again, you know, we'll update you further on, you know, whenever we choose an adoption agency. But until then, thank you guys. Love you.
Love you. Y'all take care.